Welcome back to Behind the Eyes. This is episode 2 of Pop Specs, and we're finding out all about them. And we're now up to the point where from 2 weeks ago, we found out their journey from those 2 kiosks from Trafford Centre and Arndale Centre. Now we're going through the journey all the way from there to Dragon's Den. So we've gone through a little bit of delegation here. You've recruited Maria, and now we've got 2. So when did 2 become 3, 3 become 4? Because you grew what I would say organically using your own cash.
Yep.
So you haven't just bought a Ferrari and just and gone away and spent all. You've reinvested it. So you've obviously seen something there. So talk me about that journey there, because there's so much to consider. People, location, the pace you go at. What was that like?
So this is where it gets a little bit funny, that all the people that turned us down for when we applied to the shopping malls.
Right, they're coming out. Okay,
coming out of the woodwork. They want us.
They're now getting in contact with us.
They want a piece of Pop Specs
to say, would you like to come to our mall? So once again, as we spoke about in the previous episode, just that little in, and to prove the concept.
Yeah.
The asset managers go around all the different shopping malls to see, what are they doing? What's going on there?
Yeah.
And it was actually a lady called Nicola from Meadow Hall who initially approached us. And she had a few contacts. And she said, I've got a few other people that who run shopping malls that I think would be interested in Pop Specs. So I'm going to send them down to look at it. So all of a sudden we found we were getting openings happening, that not in terms of we were opening, but malls were getting in contact with us to say, would you like to come in? Which was incredible from the initial rejection to now that door being open.
But that goes to the point that all that hard work you put in on that kiosk, all that idea and conception to in installation there, it looked the business. And I said, so that's why they wanted it. So that's almost your return on investment. You pay for your MBA. Haven't you? You that return investment. You've got to be paid for your hard work there. That must be very gratifying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you must have gone. You must have been absolutely delighted about that. So Meadow Hall. What was next?
So we
have Stratford, London.
So number 3 was Westfield, Stratford. Yep. So number 1 Trafford, number 2 Arndale, number 3 Stratford, Westfield. Number 4 was Sheffield.
Shepherd's Bush.
Oh, Shepherd's Bush.
And then Chester. And then Sheffield.
Okay, so back on your home territory.
Back to the home
I've
county.
seen that was in the market. That's in the market.
Chester
in the
market.
new indoor market, yes.
So what did that feel like going back home, kind of back to the home turf? Did you kind of go, oh, I recognise you, I recognise you? Or was that?
Absolutely. So we actually, when we opened there, I'd done a deal with... of course, because that's where my independent was, that, I wouldn't be poaching customers in a sense. And that's why I didn't want to open anything in Chester for a couple of years. And then we went there, and the agreement was I wouldn't work in Chester.
Right, okay.
Not that I couldn't open something. Okay. So we got the Pop Specs going. We did the first weekend. And it was like going home because you see all the old customers coming in. And I would actually say to them, I go, look, from the independent, they're using a better lens.
Right.
The products are incredible. Keep going there. But if you want something a little bit fun and a little bit different as an alternative look, come and get something here. Okay. And funnily enough, the customers are still very loyal to the original opticians, but they will come and maybe get something from us as well. But it's lovely to bump into old faces.
So that's 6 stores. So go through. So what kind of time period is those 6 stores?
That was a year and a half.
Year and a half. So that's a store every 3 or 4 months. So then you haven't got to 10 yet. So what was
so this is where there was a bit of drama. So that was July. Was it around February 2022?
Yeah.
So then 2023, we were told, one of his friends called Dan. Oh, hey Dan, I see you've got a kiosk here in Preston.
In Preston, yeah.
So Dan was like, oh no, I don't have anything in Preston. So that we found out there is a customer who basically copy our business and open the same, not the same one, it's different name, but still using the 20 minutes.
Okay.
So when your adrenaline just goes because we don't want to just open and open and open, and we don't have the people to run it, and we want to do it organically and slowly. So I told Dan if we've got to do something, and I thought, what, let's try to apply to Dragon's Den. So I applied Dragon's Den, and 2 months later I got a phone call from the Dragon's Den. And I remember we were in London trying to go somewhere doing a site visit, and I told Dan, a Dragon's Den just called me, and they asked if we want to be in the show. And Dan was like, no, I'm not going there. I'm a people person, but I do not like to be on TV. I don't want to be.
He's made for TV.
I don't want to be famous. Nope. And I just say one thing. Well, it's either us or the copycat.
Right.
And then just that sentence, he was like, "Okay, let's do it." And then we just go.
That was
from
your driver. You saw someone.
Yes.
So I suppose not naivety, but I suppose you're working so hard at your idea. You haven't copyrighted. You've copyrighted.
No, you can't
spec.
copyright it.
You copyrighted pop specs as an idea.
We've trademarked.
Sorry.
You can't copyright an idea, and we always knew copycats would come in.
Yeah.
I think what really got our back up and was probably, we look back and was a huge driver in pushing us forward. It's the fact that it was a customer that I spent a lot of time with, telling him all about the idea, the concept.
Yeah.
I'm an open book. And as you know, Adam, you can go to the kiosk, you can see the operations there. So it's not like we're hiding anything. And then when I found out that it was him, I just thought, I cannot believe someone has actually done this.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of got my backup, really.
Okay. So, did you just get on with it and try and ignore him? Or did you try and buy all his glasses to reduce his cash flow and then...
Well,
we actually sat down. We sat down with them.
Yeah.
We set up a meeting. We sat down with them, and then they preach to us what we are trying to do in the market.
Right.
At a point where they said, either you join us, and at the time we have 6, we are profitable, and they only have the 1.
Yeah.
And it's either we join them or...
You join them, okay, right.
Yeah, either we join them or they will basically destroy us or whatever.
Okay. But you have PopSet. That's the magic, isn't it? It's a bit like I'm not saying you're McDonald's, but that's the magic.
Yeah.
It's the magic, isn't it?
These guys were GPs, so they had a number of GPs and very successful GPs. And it really grated me, Adam, because I'm sat there with these guys pitching this incredible idea for the eyewear industry that we're going to be dead transparent with the pricing. We're going to do it in 20 minutes. We're going to include the coatings. We're going to give incredible customer service. And I'm going, you're pitching my idea to me.
Yes, that's what you came up with.
Oh, no. Ours is slightly different. No, it's not. You bought glasses from me. You're just pitching the same idea. Now, we found out as well, because one of the agents that we deal with, they were going really aggressive to get locations.
Right.
So they were obviously willing to put a lot of money into this. So they were planning on opening 5 or 6 within about 4 or 5 months.
So it's crazy how you got an idea, but the UK market is so attractive that, like an ecosystem, you've gone here, but then competitor comes in.
Of course.
It's...
Yeah.
The thing is, with what we do, is the entry to what we do is not, you don't need a lot of cash.
There's not a huge barrier of entry.
There is not. But the problem is, once you're in the shopping mall, to be there, it's quite difficult.
The expertise and the service. And one of the things, so we go back to these guys, they're there telling me about their passion for the eyewear industry.
Right, okay, yes.
And they're obsessed with customers, giving great service. And because obviously they've experienced with me and they've seen what I operate like. And I said to them, so guys, it's incredible, your passion for the eyewear industry. Yeah. We're literally obsessed with it. Why did you become GPs?
Yeah, exactly.
Why didn't you become opticians? Yeah. And they couldn't answer that.
Of course.
Now, I'll hark back to the fact that the age of 7, I was making glasses.
Yeah.
It's all I've ever known.
Of course.
And it's my passion for the industry that comes across to the customer. And that's why they buy, because I give so much enthusiasm and I'm incredible with the styling for people. But it's that integrity that comes across.
So when when you've got these 6 stores and 10 stores, I had a store 2009, and then I had the second one in 2018. I was diluted. My first store, it was like I wanted it, or almost, good days, bad days, but I wanted it a certain way, ran this way that would benefit the business, benefit me, and it used to run. My second store, my delegation, and that may be a skill of mine, is poor. It was diluted, so it wasn't my store. It was other people were kind of not ruining it, but doing their own take. I couldn't be there all the time. How did you find that? Because you went from having control, and I mean control is a word that businesses don't like to use because it shows kind of restriction, but control over the brand, the PopSpecs brand, the quality of the service, the quality of the conversation, the quality of the glazing, the quality of the cleaning up at the end of the day, How did you then get that across to the people who worked for you over the 6 to 8 stores, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. You got 16, 20 people now working for you who you're responsible for, who've got to deliver that PopSpecs 20-minute experience and deliver I don't mean to disregard it, but not the spiel, but the kind of the service. They do look good on you. Which one? Because you have to choose what glass look right for somebody, because that will perpetuate the brand, won't it?
Yep.
How did you get that across then? What was that? What was that like?
Difficult.
It's difficult, but the key, so the first 6, I think most of the staff are still with us. So when we open new locations, we are there training them personally. Right. So we'll spend a month or 2 months just working with them.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is. And that's why we do not want to open, 10 all at the same time. So because if we spend time with the managers, then the manager will know how we want it to be run, and then they can train the staff, and then the staff will do it how we train the managers. So that kind of contagious, if I may say.
Yes, it is. It's culture.
Exactly.
Culture.
So that's how you build the culture. As you grow bigger, it is quite difficult, but we still try to, wherever we go, we spend 2-3 days with them now. We can't spend a month now in different places, but we'll spend 2-3 days working with them so they can see this is how we do things. This is doable. If you want to hit the target, this is how you should do it. If you want to get the customer's review, 5-star review from customers, this is how you do it. Compliance, and you have to lead by example.
Of course.
So I think
it's that leadership aspect.
Exactly.
That leadership. So that leadership that comes from you. And this training that you gave, did you write a manual, or was it literally came from your experience and this is how we do it? You know what I mean? Because when I work for other stores, there's a whole intranet full of training material.
Yeah, we have manuals, but I just feel like the in-person is a lot better because no one is going to the manual and reading these days.
Who wrote the manual then?
We kind of built it as we go, and we just update them. Right. And again, as we build the team, then we have people who just put it together. Okay. I'm doing training on this one. Let's put it together, put it all in paper. So it's very basic. I would say simple. It's built up as you go. But the most important thing is being there and show them in person rather than just look at the manual.
Of course.
And what I would say as well, adding to that, Adam, most of our initial staff didn't have optical backgrounds. Mm-hmm. We just needed people on the ground.
So you didn't make that a prerequisite?
No, because they were working directly with me and Lina.
Now we've run for 5 years. It's easier to train someone without the optical background than it is.
The old habits get in the way, do they?
Exactly, because again, we are in a kiosk. We are very I hate the word sales driven, but that's how.
No, you got to sell a product. Yeah. That's the idea.
But that's pretty much what you do. I think with the people with the experience, like Dan said, you are in the shop and you're waiting for the customer to come because you've been there for 20, 30 years. You have the name, whereas with us, we are still new. Even in Travel Centre, we've been there 5 years, and there is still people who live in Manchester that they don't know anything about us.
Of course, yeah.
So it's just that first initial telling people, have you heard about us before? And if you train someone to do it how we do it, they will copy and paste it. But people from the industry, they then just, no, I'm here to dispense. I don't chase people. And that's quite difficult. Okay.
And I'm I won't lie, incredibly demanding with the level of service we have to offer. They only learned one way, which was my way.
Yeah.
They knew no different, the same as Lina. If I dare say anyone that dealt with Lina for a dispense would think that she was 20 years in the industry for how good she is. When you get people who've been spoon-fed dispenses, they come in and they stand there and just think people will come to them. And all the people that came from optical backgrounds to begin with just could not approach people. I was amazed at their lack of confidence and ability to actually go and talk to the people, that they literally would stand there and just almost be like the rabbit in the headlights.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that because the culture
it's daunting.
In the store, the culture in the store, is process driven, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pre-test, test, dispense, collection, and that's their part of the chain, isn't it? But now that they're cook, bottle washer, and everything else, aren't you? Like you guys were, or still are. So just we'll come to Dragon's Den in 2 seconds. Your experience there, because again, people have seen it. I want to talk about a little bit. More so after it, but just tell me about this kind of business growth, because I saw you on social media a few times on Instagram, and Nana is there. You're using Nana as kind
pop specs.
Nana pop specs. Okay, and you're using her as a kind of a comedic side of things, like pop specs, kind of approachable.
Yeah,
but it's not very corporate. It doesn't really show off pop specs. It just shows off a fun side of yourself and your lives, really. Okay, so how did you get social media? How did you use that? How did you market the store? Or was it just basically being in one of the busiest shopping centres in the UK is enough? Was that it? How did it work? Because from my experience, bricks and mortar, from regular community practice, the first 2 years are tough when you open a business up.
Yeah.
After 2 years, the recall kicks in. You're sending people letters coming for you, the yearly or 2 letters. Then your turnover doesn't double, but it goes up a notch, because your baseline's coming in, but then people are coming back. So new people are coming in, and you got double. How did it work in your setup? Because you didn't have a recall. I don't think you took data and you don't data harvest in that sense, which isn't new age. It's quite traditional in that sense.
Yeah.
So what would that look like there, the growth then?
So all of it was based on word of mouth.
Right.
Exhilarate the customer, make it an exciting process for them, put them in a position that they actually change their behavior. So what I always say to all the staff and anyone that comes to us, when we're delivering such high-end customer service, we're doing it a third of the price of anyone else, and we're doing it there and then within 20 minutes. How can they justify then going and spending 3-4 times the amount elsewhere and waiting 2 weeks? And I always use the example of the Blockbuster model against Netflix, who now goes to a video store, gets the video, goes home, puts it on, forgets to take it back, gets a fine. The Netflix model is there. You can just sit in front of it, watch your movie on demand. And the social media ties into this as well, Adam, that it was so deliberate. Opticians are so unsure of where they're actually at within the market. Are we clinical? Are we retail? For me, the eye test is the clinical experience. But as soon as you're on that shop floor, that patient becomes a customer. They are a customer, because that is a retail experience. Make no bones about it. It's a retail experience because you're selling to them, and invariably you're trying to sell good options to them. I wanted to make it fun and simple. Number one, the speed, you get them there and then, but also make it fun, that to take away that clinical kind of almost sometimes hostile atmosphere. People get anxious. People get anxious about going to the opticians. By showing the social media, the fun with my Nana, how we do it, taking the mickey out of other people, people realise, you know what, this is a fun experience. Almost every single customer, when we ask them for feedback, what was your experience like at Pop Specs? 97% of people say it was the most fun experience they've had choosing glasses.
So that's Google review.
Yeah.
So, and that's with the little internal marketing that we do.
Right. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So, we say about customer service, you mentioned customer service loads, and you say that's very important, very important. Businesses measure, they spend millions measuring NPS scores, net promoter scores and things like that, and have inputs, and a KPI. Your store's a KPI, and it's like you can measure everything. You don't. No. You don't. So, but so
it was deliberate.
You said it with a smile, like a kind of a confidence there. So, which is
I can tell you why.
Yeah, go on, go. That's why you're here.
If you believe in your product that much and you deliver it at such a good price with such an incredible level of service,
Yeah, need to.
you're going to get the word of mouth.
Yeah.
You've got your competitive advantages. I think we're so now driven by data. All these top companies, McDonald's, do you think when they were selling burgers, they were doing analytics? They were putting a smile on people's faces, Adam.
Yeah.
The same as Coca-Cola, when people were sipping that ice cold Coca-Cola, it was making people smile. There were no analytics back then. I tried, you said it before, I think on the other episode, we keep it simple.
Very simple then, yeah.
We keep it simple. If they are exhilarated and excited, they're going to tell people about it. And how we know, our average customer buys 3 to 4 pairs of glasses from us a year. So they go away. Lina was amazed the first couple of weeks. People were coming back, oh, do you want a little adjustment?
Yeah.
No. I want to get another pair.
Yeah.
She could not believe it.
You've broken that barrier down, haven't you?
We've broken that barrier. We've made it an affordable, fun, and accessible purchase is what we did.
Fine. So I think you come at those numbers. So you do measure it, but it's this gut. It's this gut instinct. And that's where I think you're unique, both of you. You've got this, I don't know what it is, but it's not numeric. It's not formulaic. It is gut.
It's feeling.
It's feeling. Absolutely. So let's go on to Dragon's Den now, because we've gone to what you said. You got this guy tried to copy you, and that kind of gave you a bit of a kick at the bottom to kind of get going. Okay. So talk to me about Dragon's Den, because you had to apply for it.
Yeah.
So you had to apply for it. You had to go through casting in several rounds. Did you?
Yeah, I think there's about 2-3 months going through the due diligence.
Okay.
And then phone calls, interviews, meetings, and then we set the date to go to the studio.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the studio is only 5 minutes away from where we live.
Is it in
Manchester?
Salford City?
No. We thought it was in Media City. It's just near the Science Museum in the city centre.
It's just
next door.
Never knew. I said it high pitched voice then.
Yeah.
in all those years. Okay, so you're there in Manchester. That's easier. So less of a journey, stay over. Just you can get it done.
But the only thing is, we were bragging to them about, we just live in that building over there. But they were running late because we were supposed to be there. We were there at noon, and we should do all the filming around 3-4 o'clock, and then it's 4 o'clock, so 4 hours wait. They told us, so I'm so sorry, we are running late.
Okay.
And because you live the closest, can we reschedule?
Okay.
So then we had to reschedule 3 weeks later.
Okay.
And by that time we were like, you know what? We've practiced so much before the first one, and then now we're just gonna wing it.
And hold on, that day, I cannot tell you, Adam, when they came in, we're in the dressing room, and they said, look, we can't get you on today. We're going to have to reschedule. Lina just kind of glossed over that, but can you imagine the adrenaline that's coursing through your veins?
Yeah.
But not just that day, the build up for 2 months to that day, the nerves. Yeah. I'm in a lovely jacket with a shirt that's sodden with sweat. And you're looking your best. Your knowledge is unbelievable. You're ready for every question.
Like an exam. They're like an exam. Yes.
Guys, we can't get you in today. And it was
are you sure? Are you sure?
Going down. And we walked away, and we were almost in a daze, to be honest.
Oh, no.
And it actually, I will tell you, we were questioning,
is it worth it? Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Because we had to bring the whole kiosk there as well. The kiosk, the equipment, because we are making it there.
So where was that, going back in the flat?
We just left it there.
We left
it there.
Okay. Trust the BBC. Okay.
And then 3 weeks later, we have to redo it again. 3 hours the filming was about 3 hours.
Right, okay. Just for that 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
For the 10 minutes.
So can I reduce, the magic of the show, how long is your pitch actually for?
About 3 hours.
So the pitch is 3 hours, and they've reduced it to 5 minutes.
Yeah, they
that's
10 minutes. 12 minutes.
And also, you've done all the preparations, the interviews, due diligence, and then there's always one thing that they say, it's not a guarantee you'll be on air.
Not be put on the TV.
After all that, right, okay.
So you just have to wait. And I think we only found out about the dates when they're going to put it on air a week before.
And what remind me, that was
2024.
Yeah, 4th
of January, 2024.
So almost 2 and a bit years ago. But but really by then, did you then want them or did you need them? Do you understand what I mean by that? Because, or did you go on there, and some people do this, I know they do it, there's no proof, I've got no proof, but just do it for the PR because you get your name out there. Or is it a bit you went, say what, nothing to lose, or just do it and see?
We would have taken the money if it was a good deal.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, after the show, we went back to the wall 3 times and we just have to, not that we'd have to say yes, but we decided, okay, let's just take it. But then after the show was over, you go through another due diligence and you met with their solicitor and the contract is that thick. It's pretty much made for them.
Of course.
And one of the dragons was Peter Jones.
Yeah.
And again, Peter Jones is a billionaire.
Yes.
So you can't change the contract that is made for him. And we just decided, you know what, I think we've given a try, but this is not a good deal for us. So
what was the deal again? Is it 20% for what? I can't remember.
15% for 75,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the value of the business is a good size for 10 stores by then.
We were actually opening location number 7 2 days
Milton
after
Keynes,
the film.
yeah.
Okay. So not. I would say that's a fairish price, or did you want more, or given for you were a startup?
It wasn't the best deal for us.
Okay.
I think the problem is we were on TV, and then again, Peter Jones was saying, I can help you with legal, accounts, e-commerce, warehouse. But then in reality, everything is third party.
Yes, of
so
course.
it would have cost us more if we were partnering up with them.
Yeah.
Than if we were just doing it ourselves. Plus, they'll be in the office and we'll do all the donkey works.
I think, obviously. And did you think, was it just Peter? I can't remember. Peter Jones?
Peter, Tuka and Sarah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Sarah seems quite modern and quite easy.
They're all very nice.
They're all very nice people. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Really
could have,
nice.
but maybe, do you think their face would have fitted on Pop Specs in retrospect? Peter Jones buys Pop Specs. Is that something that would have resonated with your clients?
I think it wasn't so much the face of it. It was more the credibility that if seasoned business people who have got very high profiles want to invest in this business, there must be something behind it.
Yes.
That it's a good business. It was that credibility aspect.
Right. So, by the way you're talking, I know the answer. You didn't take the money. You didn't take the deal.
Okay. No.
So then what happened? Because you've grown since then. So what number are we up to now?
So just before we went on the show, we were on location 6. A couple of days later, we opened number 7. In January when it aired, I think we'd opened another 2 or 3. I think we were on about 10
5.
or 11. Was it 5? Yeah.
So
another 5.
And that was
in January 2024.
So that was with franchisees now, or are you still organically using your own capital?
Yeah.
Okay. So when did the franchising take place then? Because just to give me a timeline there, because or I'll reword it. Give me a time when they were all organic and then you went franchise. How many did you have as kind of group stores or your own stores?
So I think it's just right after
we then we'd put a lot into getting the franchise model ready for after that, because we knew we'd get a lot of inquiries. From, I think, week 2, we were getting inquiries for the franchise at Trafford.
From DOs.
From
Optom.
Mainly Optoms and just general members of the public.
Okay, right.
And for me, I thought these people were mad. Why would you want to invest in a business that actually hasn't proven itself yet? So we wouldn't.
You're making money.
We would not, once again, I would not sell the franchise until I've actually proved it to ourselves.
Okay.
And that we could then present the numbers and say to someone, there you go, that's what me and Lina can do.
Yes, yeah.
So you've got the template now to copy that. So it was very deliberate to wait a couple of years before we actually started the franchise model.
Okay. And if I'm reading between the lines, I did not research, but I remember years ago on LinkedIn, there's a franchising guy that helped you or still help.
Lime franchising?
Or
still helps you, I don't know. Or is that, did you go right there, you sort of put a name to it, or were you still heavily involved in that? Because that must take a lot of time to build up your stores, a lot of energy. And then you're spinning plates. You can't concentrate on the stores that you ran in the first place. Yeah. So what was that like? That must have been a whirlwind.
Challenging.
Yeah.
Adam, if you look back, you sometimes think, how did we do it? And would we do it again? And the answer would be no. But when you're in the midst of it, momentum actually carries you through.
Yeah.
Momentum, I think it was 2024 when we just started opening. We opened 12 locations in the summer, just one every 2 weeks. So that's where we actually grew quite fast, the franchises.
Wow. Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of kiosks.
Yes.
That's a lot of kiosks. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we've gone through your growth in 2 stores of Dragon's Den. We're going to cut there and go to episode 3. So hold on to your seatbelts. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to be talking about what happened after Dragon's Den in more detail. But I want to really get to know Lina and Daniel a bit more. What drives them? We've heard some highs. I want to hear a bit more about the lows, about the challenges and what they've learned and the tips they would give to any budding entrepreneur in the optics scene coming into the field in the next few years. So Lina and Daniel, thank you. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.